Hi everybody. So we are now going to be working on the next topic, and that is going to be on simple interest. So for this particular topic, our objectives would be to calculate simple interest and also use the future value formula. Now, a few vocab words to remember. When we talk about interest, it's the dollar amount that we get paid for lending money or for borrowing money. So it's like rent when we are borrowing money, or it's the rent that the bank will pay us when we are lending them some money. Okay. The amount of money that we deposit or we borrow is what we call as the principal. Now, whenever we are talking about interest, that interest, the amount, will depend on the rate that is applied to the principal. So it depends on bank to bank or depends on the loaner. Okay, so simple interest is simply the interest calculated only on the principal. All right. So when we are going to be looking for simple interest, the formula that we use is I is equal to P principal, R is rate, T times is time. Now, it is important to remember that time is always in years, okay? It is always expressed in years. So even if the word problem says months or weeks, you have to always convert them in terms of years. So again, to get the interest, we only multiply the principal, the rate, and the length of time. So let's have this example. So you deposit $2,000 in a savings account at hometown bank, which has a rate of 6%. Find the interest at the end of the first year. So let's identify our formula. So remember, we're looking for the interest. So interest is equal to principal times the rate times the time. So let's substitute the values, which is our principal. So the principal is what we deposit or what we borrow. So the deposit is $2,000. Okay. The rate, it's easy to find, the number with the percent. So it says here the rate of 6%. Now always remember that the percent number needs to be changed to decimal form. So this is going to be 0.06. Okay, and now we need the time, and as you can see, we need to find the interest at the end of first year. So how many years is that? That is going to be 1 year. So using your calculators, if you multiply these three numbers, you will end up getting that's going to be 120, 1, 2, yep. So that is going to be $120. Okay, so that is how you will be able to get the interest. Okay, so after 1 year, so how does that work? Okay, how do we interpret this amount? Okay, so you put money in the bank, $2,000. Okay. And then after 1 year, when you check your account, it's no longer $2,000 anymore. It earned an interest of 120. So you know that when you check your balance after year one, okay, of your money being in the bank, your amount will now be at 2,120. The interest is paid. It's like rent given to you by the bank because you deposited money to them. All right? Let's have another example. So we have a student who took out a simple interest loan for $1,800 for 2 years at a rate of 8% to purchase a used car. So find the interest on the loan. Again, we have our formula I is equal to P, R, and T. Our principal is the amount borrowed. So the loan is $1,800. All right. The rate is simply the one with the percent. So that's 8%. So we change it to decimal, 0.08. And the time is, according to this, the loan was taken in good for 2 years. So again, our time is written in years. So putting this into your calculator, then you will be getting the amount of $288. So what does that mean when it comes to loans? Okay, so you borrow. So this person, he borrowed 1,800, but will he return 1,800 to the loaner? No. Okay, because the loaner is lending him the money. Okay, so there's like a rent, sort of like. So that's like how because they are using the money. This is going to be paid on top of the money. So if you see there, so when the payback, okay, it's going to be the amount that was borrowed plus the interest. Okay, so that is how lenders are able to earn money based on the interest that they apply on the amounts that they lend to people. Okay, so now, how do we calculate the future value of the simple interest? So basically, you have already the idea of how to do this because of the explanations we had with the previous examples. So the formula when finding the future value, so we use A as the representation for future value, we multiply the principal by the quantity 1 plus R times T. Okay? So if you would remember, okay, using the distributive property P times 1 plus RT, if you're going to identify this, so if we distribute P, this is going to be P times 1, which is P, plus P times RT, which is PRT. Okay? Now, if you would remember, P is the amount that was borrowed or this is the original amount, borrowed or deposited, okay? Plus, what is PRT? We've seen this already. This is the simple interest. So the future value is when you combine the principal and the interest together, okay? So that's that. So let's have this example. So we have a loan of 1060 made at 6.5% for 3 months. What is the future value? Okay, so we're looking for the future value. So it's the original money and the interest altogether. Okay, so A is equal to P times 1 plus R times T. Okay, our principal is the amount borrowed. So that is the loan of 1060. Okay, times 1 plus the rate is, as you can see, 6.5%. So that's going to be 0.065 times the time, which is 3 months. Okay. Now remember, time is always in years. So 3 months, how many months in a year? There's a total of 12 months. All right. So if we convert this, 3 over 12 is actually 1/4, or in decimal form, 0.25. So 3 months is equivalent, 3 months is actually equivalent to 0.25 years. Okay? So remember, time is always in years. So we will multiply this by 0.25. All right. So you can copy this on your calculator, whether it's decimals or your handheld calculator, and you will find that the future value is going to be around 1,000, 1,077, and, well, we're talking about money, so we always round to 2 decimal places. So it's around 1,077 and 23 cents. So that is the future value, okay? Now, as you can see, the future value will always be higher than the amount, okay? So if I am going to ask, what is the interest? What is the interest paid? So the interest is simply the future amount minus the borrowed money. So all you have to do is subtract, get the difference of the future and what you originally borrowed. So it's going to be 1077.23 minus 1060. So that is going to be what? $17.23. Did we get it right? Yes. So this person paid $17.23 for interest. Okay. So now, not at all times we're going to be asked for the future value or for the interest. Sometimes it could be the rate, sometimes it could be the number of years, or it could be the principal. So let's have this example. We have the problem. It says you borrowed 2,500 from a friend. 2,500 is what? This is our principal, okay? And promise to pay 2,655 in 6 months. So as you can see, this is going to be the future value, and 6 months is going to be the time. What is the simple interest rate? So we are looking for the percent, the rate in percent. So how do we work with this? So again, we follow our formula. A is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Replacing all the values, okay? A is the 2,655 equals P is the 2,500 times 1 plus our R, which is missing. And then our time is what? Well, according to the year, 6 months. 6 months is out of 12 months. So we know 6 months is 1/2 year or 0.5. So our time is going to be 0.5. Okay? So what do? Remember, this is going to be algebra. So we want to make sure that we find R. So first thing that we do is we distribute the 2,500 to the group. Okay? That's how we solve with algebra. So this is 2,655 is equal to 2,500 times 1, which is 2,500 plus, okay? So we multiply 2,500 times R times 0.5. If you get on the calculator 2,500 times 0.5, that is 1,250, and you multiply the R, and so you have this expression now. So remember, algebra, we want to isolate R. So before we can do that, we need to remove the 2,500. And with that, we do the opposite. So we subtract 2,500 on both sides, which is going to give us 155 is equal to 1,250 R. And this time, since we can already get our variable by itself, we divide by 1,250, okay? We divide by 1,250, and our R is going to be equal to 0.124. Now, this is in decimal. Our rate is always in percent, so changing decimal to percent, we simply move the decimal point 2 to the right. So the rate is going to be 12.4%, okay? So whether you're missing the principal, the rate, or the time, all you have to do is use this formula. Use your algebraic skills in solving so that you can isolate the desired variable. All right? Thank you.